Hi everyone, I'm out at the field today with my recently completed RC Powers Su30 version 4, built at 85% of scale, as well quite a mishmash of building materials, which I'll talk a little bit more about at the end of the video. I built this as what we would call a bit of a beater plane for the winter time, so you know, I'm just gonna have a lot of fun thrashing it around over the winter when the field here gets a little crummy or whatever. But yeah, so today a bit of a challenge to visibility here today. In addition to the ground fog, because it was just below freezing last night. It's only about 10 o'clock in the morning right now, so things are still warming up. Also, you may be able to see right over here, sort of off the tip of my radio antenna, the bunch of guys did some awesome work to clear some trees away. Oh, there's an eagle going flying, bald eagle. So those were big brush piles that were sitting there drying out over the summertime. So the landowner has, with permission, burned that down. So anyway, so they're still smoldering away a little bit. But anyway, it'll be a challenge for yours truly to keep it closer so I can see it, and hopefully you can see it on the video as well. So anyway, enough yammering, let's get some thrashing done here. Su30 Atola of rock and rolla, baby. So I built this once before, I think over a year ago anyway, primarily out of model plane foam. It was one of the first planes I built entirely of model plane foam. That one had 27-inch wingspan. I think I built that one at 88%. Very smooth in the pitch. So I built this one. This has a 25 3/4 inch wingspan. One of the things, again, I wanted to evaluate is using you know, lightweight, inexpensive park jet motors, quad racing motors, I mean. And you know, so having a good wingspan that isn't too big and draggy. So I'm just going to do a cull bit here. Yeehaw! So I was only at about 70% throttle there. I'll show you at the end. I've got an ungodly amount to throw in my pitch, at least a lot more than what I normally fly with. But the plane stays very, very balanced when it's doing those. It doesn't, you know, want to yank out to the left or to the right. Stays very, very stable here. So we'll get a little yanking and banking done here in close. So the motor I'm using is the RC Timer FR2205 2550, which you've probably seen me use on a few other planes in previous videos. It's a really great little motor for the price. I think it's only about $10 or $11 US from RC Timer. I like it with this Master Airscrew 6x4x3 prop. It's a good, powerful but efficient setup. You know, especially sort of in the mid-range, so you get the benefits of those 3 blades. I'm just going to kick it over with the rudder. Good crisp response in the yaw, but it doesn't want to roll or flip, you know, sort of flip inside itself. All right, last high-speed pass. So let's show off here a little bit. Do a split S to landing. Chop the power up high. Oh well, didn't land real close, but what the heck, gives me some excuse to yap as if I need more excuses to do that. So yeah, like I said, I built this. It's actually three different types of foam, primarily Dollar Tree foam or Adams Ready Board. The wing plate and the fuselage are, and the KF4 airfoils are Dollar Tree foam. I had some scrap Depron, so I built the Elevons out of that. One of the challenges that I found with building with Dollar Tree foam is that, because, you know, to get that good strength by leaving the paper on sort of aft of the of the KF airfoils is it can weight, make the plane a little bit tail heavy. And because I didn't move the motor forward on this plane, the motor on the SU30 is already very, very far forward, which is what makes it such a good plane for, I mean, it's billed as the hovering park jet, which is not anything that I'll probably play around with, but it does very, very good high alpha. So I thought about it, but then I thought I won't move the motor forward. So by using some scrap Depron, I didn't really have to reinforce the Elevons. So there you can see there's like 2 inches of throw in the pitch, which is about twice what I normally use. But again, like I said, this is going to be a plane I'm going to really thrash around over the winter. I'm also hoping to work a little bit on my high alpha skills. I didn't demonstrate any of those today because number one, I'm terrible at high alpha flying, so that's one of the reasons I want to practice it. And with this visibility here, if I lost it in that thicker fog and smoke, it would probably end up in the next postal code. I never find it again. Anyway, so in the roll, I've got about an inch. You saw the rolls there were really super crisp. I might even turn that down a little bit, but what the heck, this is what's the old saying, fly it like you stole it kind of plane. So about an inch in the roll in the Elevon, 3/8 in the aileron, and only about a half needed in the rudder. These rudders are sort of my own design, as are the ailerons. I didn't run the aileron all the way out to the edge of the wingtip, just because I find that causes, especially when I get slow, I end up getting myself into more trouble with tip stalling as I'm trying to maneuver the plane around. Oh, there's a nice big chunk of wood. I don't need that on the runway. I think, I don't know if I mentioned it, I built the nacelles on the bottom, and the vertical stabilizers are actually built out of model plane foam. It's just a bit more durable than paperless dollar store foam for the bottom, since it lands on that. So again, the motor I cobbled together. I've got my speed controller. I'm using a 40 amp speed controller, although I could get away with a 30 amp. It's actually a RC Timer 40 amp speed controller I had laying around. I tested them, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, and pretty good old reliable thing, so I popped that in there. For servos, I've got 9 gram, I think they're Tower Pros, which are kind of not my favorite servo. I think these are sort of the last 2 that I have left, but they seem to be working out okay. And for the aileron and the rudders, I'm using HXT 500 5 gram servos from Hobby King. The really super sexy paint scheme is actually just done with magic marker. Super easy to do. I think this whole thing, this whole paint scheme in air quotes, took me, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour. Adds no weight, and the nice thing about it is that, as it starts to fade, just a quick touch up. But even though it may not have shown up as well as I would have liked on the video, it shows up well. And again, didn't add any weight. I wanted to keep this light. I don't know if I mentioned it already. I'm at 18.9 ounces, about 635 grams, I think that is. So really good weight. So one of the reasons I did put the 40 amp speed controller in is that I will be testing some other quad racing motors with this plane. So rather than swapping out speed controllers, because some of the ones the other one I've tested thus far, you really need to run a 40 amp speed controller on it. But anyway, folks, there we have it. The modified SU30. I'll talk real quick about the mods. So the plans have canards. I clipped the canards off. I'm just not a fan of canards. There, I said it, just personal preference. So what I did was I added about 3/8 of an inch extra on the leading edge of the wing, and then just sort of fashioned the lurks, to curve in. I added on to the wing just to provide a little bit of extra lift there. And on the Elevons, I probably reduced the Elevons by, I don't know, 25% total surface area. They were almost the same span. I chopped essentially an inch off either end, so reduced the span by about 2 inches, and then just sort of trimmed it up a little bit so that, you know, it looked somewhat scale to my eye anyway. Yeah, so thanks very much for watching, folks. This plane is just a ton of fun to fly. The other one, I actually still have it. I took the parts out of it, but I still have the airframe, so I may fly it again later. It's just a ton of fun to fly, this Su30 version 4 from RC Powers. So looking forward to having a ton more fun with this over the winter time. So thanks for watching. Blue skies, calm winds to everyone. Park jet noise, the other sound of freedom, baby. Take care.